What's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, and today I'm checking out the Spyderco Native 5. This is the GP Knives exclusive version with the white FRN scales and the black DLC coated Rex 45 blade. Reason I picked this up mainly was just kind of visually I like the aesthetic and the contrast between the white and the black. I have the Benchmade MIDI bug out in the same color combo and really like that. It's one of my favorite EDCs that I've carried quite a bit. The size of that contributes a little bit to it as well. It's a super kind of compact knife and just the right length for me. And this is pretty similar size. It's a little bit thicker, but pretty similar. So decided to check it out just based off the looks alone. Haven't handled a Native 5, have handled plenty of Spydercos, but yeah, so that's what kind of interested me in grabbing it. It also came with a couple stickers, the Spyderco sticker, which obviously came in the box, but then rubber banded to the outside, GP Knives sent over a sticker of the knife itself, as well as this kind of cute T-Rex holding the Spyderco Native 5, and thought that was cool. You can also buy those separately if you want extras, or if you just want those for whatever reason, even though you don't want the knife. So those are for sale on the website as well. But onto the knife itself, I don't have a ton of Spydercos, or I guess as many as you would expect. I have a lot of knives, probably 100 plus at this point. And I was counting in my head, I think I have 5 other Spydercos, so not a ton, this being number 6. It's off memory, so I might have 1 or 2 more, but not a lot in comparison to my overall collection. And none of the ones I own actually have that kind of classic FRN Spyderco scale, which is intentional, I guess. It's not my favorite look-wise, and I feel like it just seems like a cheap scale material for what you pay for Spyderco knives. And you know, obviously there's a Spyderco tax, a little bit less dramatic than like a Benchmade tax, or even worse, like a Microtech tax. But it exists, and I feel like you can get a lot better scale material in the price range. So not something I typically look for, but I like the look of this one and decided to pick it up. And honestly, it feels pretty good in the hand. The texture's not super noticeable. I mean, you feel it, but it just feels grippy. It's nice. And contributing to that, I guess, is this finger choil with the jimping on both the spine and the choil. And it's pretty aggressive jimping. As far as the feel goes, it's kind of minimal. They're really close together, but when you hold on to it, it feels like you can get an excellent grip on the knife just with the jimping section alone, which is really, really nice. And this is a pretty reasonable size knife, 6.95 inches overall, but you can get a really, really comfortable 4-finger grip on it because of that choil with plenty of room to spare. And it feels really, really good in the hand. Much better than I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, obviously having never handled one before, but extremely comfortable knife, which was a very pleasant surprise. Blade is, again, I mentioned the Rex 45, it's 2.95 inches overall, but because of that finger choil, you're losing a lot of that, so the cutting edge is only 2.42 inches. So about just under 2.5 inches, so you lose about half an inch there, obviously, for the finger choil. So I guess cutting edge to handle ratio is a little bit smaller than some people would like, but definitely a worthy trade. I feel like the grip on this is so comfortable and so good that I don't mind the shorter cutting surface. Handle is 4 inches long exactly, bringing the total to 6.95. I think I mentioned that earlier actually. And then the spine of the knife is 0.12 inches, although it tapers down to a really thin edge at the point. So obviously gets thinner as it goes downwards, and Spydercos are always super slicey knives, so this one's no exception. And the FRN material is super lightweight, so this is only 2.5 ounces, or 2.45 I think ounces. Feels super lightweight in the hand and in the pocket, which is nice. I don't expect that these are going to get too stained up. They may collect, just because the texture may collect like dust and stuff in between the crevices that should be cleanable, but like I mentioned, I have the mini bug out in the same color. I don't know if I actually mentioned that or not. I meant to mention it. I have the mini bug out in the same colorway with the white scales and the black blade, and I've carried that one quite a bit. It's probably one of my most frequent carries just because of the size of it. It's one of my favorite knives to carry, and it really hasn't discolored whatsoever. So I'm kind of expecting this to be the same, where I was really worried that it was gonna like turn blue with new jeans or something like that, but haven't had that issue, and I've had that knife for years, so, or at least a couple years. So really hasn't been an issue, so I'm not expecting any issues here. It is a lockback, which I mentioned in just my most recent video. It's not my favorite lock style, just because of kind of convenience and habit where you naturally gravitate towards to access a lock. It just kind of puts it really out of the way, where it's not somewhere you intuitively think to reach for a lock. And also puts your fingers in the cutting path, although I've never been cut on a lockback that I can remember, and I've been cut on plenty of other lock types, so probably not the biggest factor, but still not my favorite, but not a deal breaker. Obviously, I bought this knife after having other lockbacks, and definitely not a deal breaker, but not my favorite. But overall, super happy with this knife. If you're interested in checking it out, it's still available. Definitely go do so. Well, at least at the time of recording. Who knows by the time you're watching this, but definitely go check it out if you're interested in it. This is one of their US-made Golden Colorado, USA Earth. Almost all of my Spydercos are, I think, with the exception of the Spy Opera, which is made in Italy, and then the like keychain one, I think it's called the Bug, which I think is probably made in China or Taiwan maybe. But yeah, super cool knife. Super impressed with it. Like I said, it's much more comfortable than I expected it to be. And just kind of a last point here is that another fully ambidextrous knife, obviously the lockback is a great ambidextrous lock because it's on the spine, so it doesn't have a preference towards left or right-handed. The Spidey hole is equally ambidextrous, obviously. And then the pocket clip is actually a 4-position pocket clip, so you can do right hand tip up, right hand tip down, left hand tip up, or left hand tip down. I know not a lot of people do tip down carry by choice, but it is a choice, which is nice. Although I guess it adds a couple extra holes, which I don't know, it's not so bad actually. It kind of adds a symmetry there, even look. And then it also has the lanyard hole through the pocket clip itself, so if you're a lanyard person, you can definitely put that on there. But yeah, overall, super impressed with this knife. I've handled plenty of, obviously, Spydercos with the FRN scales, so that's not really anything new to me. But the Native 5 itself is one of the more comfortable knives I've had. It's definitely going to get a lot of pocket time for me. So excited that I grabbed it and glad I checked it out. But yeah, let me know what you think of this knife down in the comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And as always, I hope you have a great one. Take care.